Guys, welcome to Nightshift Uncensored. This is episode 16, along with my hosts, Carlos Descalzi and David Germanos. Today on the show, we have Scarlett.
Hello.
Scarlett, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to jump right into it. So, where are you from? Before you came to Charlotte, you were in LA for a little bit, but was that home base?
No, I was actually born and raised in Ohio. And then when I was 17, I graduated early and moved to North Carolina. And the day that I turned 18, I went and auditioned at a strip club.
How'd that go?
Where did the mindset come from, actually? Where did you say, fuck it, I'm going to go stripping?
Is it weird that I always knew I wanted to be a stripper? Since I was
we got a lot of
13, 14,
How did you come into that term? I want to be a stripper. What was it? Somebody knew, somebody's aunt?
No, just the movies I was watching, really.
What kind of movie were you watching?
Coyote Ugly, Bring It On. And, where else was I going to get that moment where I could just dance and, somebody be like, wow, I can't just walk into a club and take my shirt off and jump on the bar.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you could.
I get kicked out.
Yeah, I wanted to, fulfill my own fantasy of that, getting that that praise, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, the praise. It's addicting, isn't it?
It really is.
You get a lot of attention, right?
Mm-hmm. And you feel so good about yourself. I don't know. And I just wanted that. And I had that feeling since I was young. And I don't know, I always felt sexy. And where could I be sexy?
So are you the same? Is there an alter ego, or do you feel are you the same person outside versus when you walk in the door and transform?
I think that was definitely an alter ego that I grew into. I wanted to be her. And then over the time after I hired my worth and started just learning so much, I became that, so I don't really have a different side of me. It's just a go-getter. Yeah, someone sexy and fun. I like being that.
So you personified the whole the person that you wanted to be in that space. Now that's who you are in general.
Yeah, because
your mindset. And
where else would I find an environment where I could try to be somebody else that I wasn't? If you're going to college or if you're working a 9-to-5, you have to show up as what they want you to be, that professional self. And I never felt like I could do that. I always felt like I was too sexy to be a waitress. Even just the way that I would talk or anything, I would just be like, ugh, everyone hates me here. They don't want me here. So I don't know. I just thrived in that environment.
Yeah. But that's the mindset, because that's a professional mindset from the entertainer's perspective. Because a lot of people don't want to, they have to build a separate self. And then they go in and then they work, and that's why it's so exhausting and perhaps sometimes not as lucrative, right? Because you're separating the two. Mm-hmm. You be trying to be somebody you're not, and then it's exhausting, and then it's draining as well. Whereas you're thriving because you are
being
being yourself.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I never thought about it from that perspective.
Yeah, and that's what I say. I'm very honest and vulnerable when I'm dancing or with customers. I feel what do I have to lose? I never really felt drained unless I'm with a customer that I'm if it's a bad night and I got to make money off the fat, stinky guy, damn, that might be a little draining for me. That might not make me feel as sexy. But no, I feel I know what I'm worth, and I know there's someone in that club that's going to match that energy and who is going to make me feel even better. So I've left the night or the club just feeling really good, feeling even more sexier, feeling accomplished. I did that.
So do you have a tactic when you go in there, a plan of attack?
Because when I've seen you work, you don't waste any seconds.
You're out there.
You always, you're already at a table, and most likely, it's over. You never that. I don't see you bouncing.
So what are your tactics? Come on.
I definitely walk in the club. I try to read the room, and you should kind of read who has money, who doesn't have money, and then I sit down and I have a conversation. And if I know you're not
interested,
if you're not interested, I'm gonna go.
Make eye contact first, or if they maintain it. What's the what gives you the tingly that this is gonna be it? This could be it.
I think I'm almost like the predator. I'm trying to find the guy that I want to have a good time with. Who's kind of attractive, that has money. Who's gonna check these boxes off for me. But yeah, I'm just kind of I don't know.
So you already profiled the type of customer you want to hang out with.
Definitely.
Okay, so that makes your experience a lot more enjoyable as well, right?
Oh yeah, because then I feel like I'm winning.
Just having fun.
Yeah,
so what's the profile?
Definitely got to be older than
type.
Yeah, definitely got to be older than 30. And I mean, I always like, this should be like a basic, like look at the shoes that a guy's wearing. Does he have a watch? What is he wearing? You know, and then there's always kind of tricky because some guys with money are going to try and hide that. They're going to take that watch off before they come in. But then I watch what they drink, and I just watch everyone. I'm very aware, and I'm reading the room constantly. And
okay, so that's your profile for money. But you said there's other profiles, like, you know, like
there's several boxes.
Yeah, that's just money. Okay, so you check the money box. What are the other boxes, like the type that you're looking for or whatever?
Spirituality.
How do you tell somebody's spirituality when you're reading the room?
I mean, I have a couple tattoos on me.
Yeah.
I have my 222 on my arm. I have living proof on my ankles, and I have 2 snakes crossed on my back. And I feel like if anyone notices my tattoos or comments on them, that they might have some type of, you know, previous experience or knowledge on it. And then I'm like, oh, yeah,
Why you keep looking
I
at me?
got him.
Because Joffy would be your perfect customer.
Yeah, no, Joffy? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
You be broke.
He got
Be
the
broke.
watch, the
I
shoes,
keep my
the
mouth shut. I'm still getting my fucking balls busted.
I was like,
Yeah.
you're the perfect customer.
All I'd have to show you is this, Joffy, and then you'd be like, and I'd be like,
like,
yeah, we're
it's meant to be.
connected.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
Who do I write the check to?
Yeah. And then I'd be like, go ahead and make it $2,222.
Yeah, it's a sign.
Exactly. I guess it's kind of like manipulation, but like knowing these guys, like they're
No, but everybody has that thing,
Spirituality.
you know, it's spirituality, or what is that called when you
Yeah,
have,
man,
you
we
know,
had a tab the other day that ended at
what is,
222.
there's a
I don't care. I
particular
like
word
it.
for that. No, not the aura. Superstitious.
yeah.
You know, so everybody is superstitious to some extent.
yeah.
Like, you know, you won't walk under the ladders. Number 13, black cats, right? Things like that. That's the basic, you know, the basic bitch of superstitions.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
But in general, yeah, you see a 2 or a 7, or, you know, everybody's got the numerology is huge now. So all those little things. The infinity, because I have it too. So they're like,
God,
yo,
you're
you see what I'm saying? I'm like, oh,
See, let me
wait.
see that, and then it's over for you.
And like, wait,
Don't go.
destiny.
Okay, yeah, literally.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's a great approach as well. Okay, I didn't think about that.
We
Yeah.
closed the tab the other night, and I ran down. I did the dance stars, and I ran downstairs, and then I ran back up to tell you because she had just told the customer. She's like, "Yeah, my lucky number's 222. Joffy's got it." I do the dance stars, and I go down to rip them up, and then I look down at the sheet. So I ran right back up to Scarlett because it was at 222.
I literally teared up because
start
I
crying.
put in my magic on that man.
Yeah.
I saw him having a bad time, but I saw that he had money. He was married. He was drinking some high-end whiskey, and I could just see that he was like not having it. So I went over, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to dance." And I'm like, "That's fine. I just want to hang out." And he's like, "Well, I'm not having a good time." I'm like, "Well, before you leave, can I like at least make sure you have a good time so that you leave here?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did come out here for a good time." I was like, "Well, it'd be unfair for you to leave on a Friday night angry." So, and then we were just talking, and he did not want my energy at all. But then he was like asking me about my tattoos, and he was like, "Oh, you're sharp, you're smart, you know." And I was like, "Yeah." And he asked for a dance, and I was like, "No, I like talking to you. You seem really smart." And then he's like, "How much do you want to make tonight?" I was like, "I would like to make 1,000." You know, there was only 2-3 hours left in the club, so I was like, "I want to make 1,000." He was like, "All right, let's go upstairs." And he right away it was like $2,000. You know, he was like, "Here's $2,000, double what you make." And I was like, well, that was easy. And then he brings up the tab, and it was 222, and I literally teared up. I'm like, wow. You know, when you like, I feel really good about myself when I have a goal, and like even though someone's working against me, and I can still like get through it, and then it works out in my favor. It just makes me feel really powerful.
You realized your whatever you were projecting, I guess.
It worked.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get what I want, you know. I mean, and he's obsessed with me. He had a great night. He was like, "This is the best night I've ever had in here." Like, and that's what another thing. Like, I never want any of my customers to leave pissed off. Like, I don't scam my customers. Like, I'm gonna make them fall in love and come back for me or another girl, because the club is a great place. Like, for men, you know, you should come in, relax, and get that sexy, intimate time, and, you know, not hate us or look down on us and not want to come back to the club. Especially if I can keep getting money out of you. Please keep coming back.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think that's super important to make sure. You know, most people don't understand that. Like, if the entertainers actually were able to better read the rooms in general, everybody would have a good time. And trust me, I guarantee everybody would spend their last dollar,
Because
willingly.
it's worth it. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And they, they might be like, shit, I spent that money, but man, I had a good time.
That's
But
what I tell
most
them.
people don't. So most people are fighting with the customers all night. Like this motherfucker, or fuck you, or bitch, or it's like a constant tug of war. But if you're able to know it and kind of read the room a little bit better, like you do.
If someone's having a good time and they're broke, they will call their grandmother for money. They will call their best friend, like, hey, sell me. They want that good night to keep on going. Don't matter how much money is in their bank account. They're going to make it happen.
They'll spend the money they don't have in the bank account and then call their grandma to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
I've
Yeah.
had that experience, dude. Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to have a good night.
Yeah. We haven't had that in a while where a family member, like a grandma or a parent,
who
had
was
to
it?
pay
The guy,
someone's
the
tab.
guy had his dad come in.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was a grown man and had his father come in to pay the tab. And then his
It happens.
father told me, called me in the front, was like, please, don't let my son come in here.
No,
and his son is my age. I'm like, okay.
We have this one guy that comes in here, he gets banged up, and and his wife comes and pays the tabs. She comes to pick him up and pays the tab.
Oh, nice.
No.
And I wonder how the relationship goes, but she's done it several times.
Yeah.
I would have been so upset.
Yeah.
So what were you talking about? The techniques? Is that what you were talking about?
Tactics.
The
Yeah.
tactics. Well, tell me, what was that about?
I was telling the other girls just how to like really sell the fantasy. Like, they were like, I have a hard time faking it. And I was like, well, if you have to fake it with a guy, then unless it's a bad night and you need to make that money, go ahead and fake it and get that money. But there's so many customers there that you might not have to fake it. It's like dating. It's like speed dating, connect with somebody and then come through that. I was definitely just, like, I don't know, like I try and stay connected with people, even, not really seeing them on the outside, but make sure that when they do come back into the club that I get that text, hey, I'm here, because, I had that good time for them and they know that it's there. But I tell girls, like, don't.
So you build customers, you build relationships.
Yeah, with genuine people, and if it's something I'm not comfortable with, like I'm not, if like, there's weird guys that want weird things all the time and it's not something I want to do, but there's going to be a perfect girl for you. And if every girl matched with the right customer, like you said, we would all be making money and having a great time.
Yeah. If they looked at it, if they had your tactics. But that's
Yeah, exactly. So like when I come in the club, I genuinely like being there and I leave feeling great. Even on the bad nights, I always feel like, damn, the right guy just didn't come in tonight. But when those are the nights, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go do dance after dance after dance. And
Well, there's a lot of rejection happening. And I think people don't do well with rejection, because...
I love rejection.
Yeah, that's your approach, right? But most people don't like that. So then that gets frustrating. But beyond it, because you did get a rejection when the guy said, I'm not having a good time,
Yeah.
I'm going to leave. You work past that,
Yeah.
Most people don't work past, like, they don't listen. They're just like, they immediately react and they're like pissed off too, like
Ooh,
you just change, you just ruined my night too, like, and they just go sideways and then
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
and then he's an asshole and the girl's crying in the back,
No. Definitely don't sit there too long because, that guy might not really want you, but you can kind of read him of what he's looking for. And sometimes I get up and then go get what he really wants. And then, I see her make money and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But no, I love rejection because either I know I'm going to be tested and work through. And if I can get through, then I got you. If I can get past any of your worries and then I can get all your money. But also if you genuinely don't like me, like you don't like me, thanks. He will.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like me? It's just guiding to me where I need to go so that I don't waste any of my time.
But you also, so I know you dance, but you also do other stuff too. I know, you want to talk about that stuff or not really, or?
I do a lot of stuff in the industry for mainly movies and film and artist management, but mainly just because I wanted to express my creative side and my own professionalism outside of dating. I don't even want to say dancing. It's just like dating because, just fast dating these guys. But no, and I also, one thing in the strip club I was telling her is like, don't think of these guys of like a night. Like these guys are rich and educated. They have so much to offer as well. Like if they wanted to take me on a date, okay, teach me all about the wines and the top cigars you're smoking and these fine meats. Cause like, I don't know that. It's not that I've never had those experiences. So when these higher end men teach me about this higher end life, it makes it easier for me to sell to the next rich guy. Oh, I know what kind of cigars you like, or try our high end whiskey. You know, like use these guys to not only for their money, because there's so much more value that they're offering. Yeah, like, and I'm a business major, so I'm like, oh, how'd you start your trucking company? Tell me all about it. And then I'll make suggestions like, oh, how do you do your marketing? And they love that shit. They're like, oh my gosh, she's smart. She could help me with my business. And she's, you know, taking in the information I'm giving her. Yeah. So I don't know.
Your wife is not interested at home.
No, not at all. Not at all.
She don't want to hear about no trucking business.
Yeah, and I just push his ego like, wow, that must have been really hard for you to do. You're so successful. I'm proud of you.
Stroking it.
And they're just like, wow, yeah. And
then
then
they get his bitching at home, you know.
And then they stroke my ego in return. They're like, wow, you're so smart. You're going to go far in life. And I'm like, okay, you want to help me go far in life?
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
So you travel as well for obviously for dancing. Is there a particular state that you like to work in, or are you pretty set now where you travel, or seasons? How does that work?
I say Charlotte is husband city, so that's why I love to dance here. Like the type of people that come in, they're like genuine, you know, it's the Bible Belt. So, you know, if anyone else is looking for more, they're going to go to like Miami or something like that. So I don't like to dance in Miami. It's a lot of competition. I don't dance in Los Angeles. It's a little bit more cutthroat. But in those big cities, I've learned like you don't have to dance. You can go to the steakhouse and like find that guy and like still build that connection. And any guy that I've ever like hooked up with naturally, at some point, I'm going to reel him into the club so I can get some money out of him. You know, because I'm not like
nobody's safe.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's safe. Like I definitely want your money at some point, even if I really like you.
I'm going to manage your money.
Yeah. So be safe.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
So you're dating no one?
No, I'm not dating. I sort of say I would love to get married and settle down one day, but it would have to be like.
It would get in the way of you, you know?
That's the problem. I think it's like, it's going to be
You
the
enjoy
man's
this too much.
challenge.
Yeah.
Like he's going to have to be okay with who I am and like going to get what I want, because I still have to stay independent. And I mean, and if he's bringing, you know, the money and that education to the table, then I don't need to be talking to other guys. And I do believe that I will successfully, you know, with my marketing and stuff like that, we'll get there. But I think I'll still always like to play with men for fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's an
just what it
addictive
is,
thing
the
too for
thing.
people too. Just like the guys come in there and they like that, you know.
Yeah.
For the dancers as well.
A little bit of chess game, mind control kind of thing, you know.
Is that bad?
No, I mean it's
Not at all.
I think you're more stimulated by like the mental game and like, you know, like being able to.
Yeah, you're playing games in there.
Yeah,
Definitely,
you
for
get
so
it.
your stimulation's different than a lot of other people.
Yeah, you're going in there. You're trying to solve the puzzle. You know.
Trying to win the game.
Yeah, you're
you know?
trying to win the game.
I mean, sex is great and being sexy is great, but I think we all want that mental stimulation. And then none of us want to like just, you know, when we hook up with someone and then you have that post-nut clarity, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. You know?
That's a meme. That's a thumbnail.
I would never want anyone to experience that with me. So, you know, when you feed them like, oh, wow, she's a high worth girl and she's so smart, I want to fuck her. And then if I make them wait and they keep doing that, they never feel that like negativity. If anything, they're going to feel better about spending their time with me. They're going to feel even like as a better man themselves. So, and then anyone that ever feels
they're
better.
basically like courting you for however long.
Yeah.
They're okay with that.
I'm like a naked mentor.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got it, bud. Keep going. Yeah. Send me my 500.
Yeah. You're doing well. Keep working hard.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
What else? You have any hobbies outside of work?
Outside of making money?
Yeah, what are you doing in LA? Are you trying to become a movie star or what?
No, so I work as a production assistant on sets, any production sets. I manage artists. I just like to be...
You're involved in the scene in Hollywood kind of thing?
Yeah, I never realized what I learned, this whole mindset tactic in the strip club is like what I took to Hollywood and into the professional way. It was like you know, these businessmen, they're looking for a certain type of artist or something like that, and I sell it. You know, I will read what they want and kind of manipulate them in the same way, make it seem like it's so worth it to them. And if I could sell my body and my time, I could definitely sell like a physical product. So I
Yeah, you'd
definitely,
be a hell of a salesperson, I tell you.
yeah, I learned the
You could be
tactics from
selling
being
like
in the
mega
club.
yachts, maybe like.
Yeah, and if you could talk to someone naked, like you could definitely talk to someone in a blazer, or at least you should be able to.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It definitely made me feel fearless. And like I said, when I was that young girl, I wanted that feeling and I didn't know where else I would get it. The strip club gave me that environment to be like, you can be this girl. You're allowed to act like this. And then once I saw that it was benefiting me, I was like, why would I not act like this everywhere and not feel bad about it? You know?
Just being you.
Yeah. And I get what I want out of it. But it's also hard because like, some days I have bad days, as we all do, but like that just means I need to like work harder.
You've got the game down, right? Like you know how to how to read the room and how to overcome objections. But like whenever you go to sleep at night with yourself and your own thoughts, like are you never like in the search for like something more like deeper? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I question myself in a sense, like how serious I should be taking my life or like what I should be really doing, like, am I ever going to get married? Am I ever going to have kids? And then I would be like, I don't want that, and I almost feel bad that I don't want that. And then that's like my self, journey that I'm like, this is who I am, and not to feel bad about that, because also look at the great life that I live, like how happy I am and how money I am, and like just the people that come in my life. Like I have great friends, any guys that I'm dating are great, so I don't really have anything to complain about other than I might not be what society wants me to be.
Yeah, which is also not,
which is hard.
People have this picture based on just, movies and shit or what it's supposed to be like. So then sometimes you feel like you're lacking something and necessarily you're not really lacking anything. It's just lacking some picture that somebody else painted. So
yeah, but I think that's breaking. I think that society picture of how people should live their lives is breaking. I mean, especially you see it, for example, with OnlyFans, like, or the way the girls in the club are posting themselves saying, "Hey, come see me" and stuff like that, where people don't care so much, what people think. They're gonna live their lives how they're gonna live their lives, and they're gonna make the money however they can make the money. And if it makes money and you're successful, then who cares?
Yeah.
So I think more people are open in general.
100%. I mean, this podcast is a clear example of it because people are open to talk about what they do.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think you have anything to feel bad about. I feel like society draws. There's either sheeps or shepherds. Society builds this box, and most people you're brought up in school to live inside that box. But that's why they say think outside the box.
That's why I said
There's
I love
nothing wrong with
rejection.
that. Yeah.
If someone is making you feel bad about your life or what you're doing, you're talking to the wrong person.
Yeah, and that's on them. They're just trying to.
yeah,
make
they just don't need to
themselves-
be part of your.
They're just trying to make themselves feel
Exactly.
better.
And then this is your current situation, so you're always evolving. So this will evolve into the next chapter and so on and so forth. As long as you keep on working hard and trying, I mean that's what it is about.
Definitely having
Don't get
goals
lost
in mind.
Don't get lost in the glitzy and the because that's real, right? Like that's the Medusa.
Definitely.
The money and the power, the ego aspect of that, and then you get caught up in a lifestyle that when it's all said and done, there's not much left, So you have to always build the foundation to the next,
I think you should just definitely have more things going for you
Yeah.
if you're a dancer. Like, because you can't dance 24/7 and then sleep all day, because then, like, that's your only, like, what are you getting out of this life? Especially if you're a hot girl with infinite power and you're just in the strip club. Girl, you could go do anything. At least go travel and dance and see the world.
You see a lot of success in ours, like like people like you, for example, that build a separate life with a business and things like that of their own. We see a lot of that, or people going through school and and degrees and things like that. So
That's
But what's crazy? Sorry to interrupt.
you're-
But what's crazy is like I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, you'd probably do really well at like coaching some of these girls and like how to do this.
She's always the ringleader.
he
Right.
calls me Lieutenant Stripper.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like like if you were like on TikTok or something, but at the same time like what TikTok, for example, or like just what you see on Instagram is not really like the intellectual side of it. It's not
No.
really what's popular, right?
No.
So like looking at things like the stuff that we're talking about right now would make so much sense, and the girls would probably be even happier and more successful if they follow some kind of model of what you're doing. But what's popular on Instagram or TikTok is like the
The drama.
The drama, the other girl that we had the other day, the yelling, the screaming, the money being thrown, and just that's what sells, which is crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, don't you guys ever scroll like for TikTok for like an hour and then your brain just hurts? Like you just feel like your IQ is going lower as you scroll. See,
but I do have Instagram. Yeah.
I haven't been on TikTok my whole life until 2 weeks ago, and I understand.
Yeah, I definitely.
They're doing it right.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's like
the Chinese.
I can see why it's banned. No, I can see why it's banned, bro.
He's destroying our society.
He's getting all kinds of news from TikTok
like
now.
I'm getting fucking aliens.
He's talking
from
about
Peru,
aliens. Like, did you see the aliens?
Laser beams.
I'm like, bro, you're getting.
My fiance is talking about some crazy conspiracy. I'm like, you better quit right now.
Get off
TikTok. Talking
TikTok.
about the Hollywood, the Satan,
Oh God!
all the people from Hollywood are Satanists and all this other shit. They, all the conspiracy theories that goes with all that stuff. I'm like, no, you cannot be getting your news from TikTok or your conspiracies.
He's like, it's just interesting.
I said, listen. This is what I told her. I said, not that I know things, but before you start repeating the stuff out there, come to me, and then I'll tell you whether it has any real truth to it.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. He's like, things are stressing me out. They're doing a good job at doing that stuff.
Yeah. So with your mindset and the way that you play the game, what's the biggest night you've had in any club? Because I feel like you're strategic. Most girls just pay the house fee, walk in at any club, and then they just they're not operating in there like you are. You know what I mean? They're taking a guy says no, they're not even looking past that. They're looking past that table and going to somebody else, So I'm sure you've been way more successful than the norm.
So at our club, I've made in one night on a Monday morning in 2 hours, $6,000. He took me up for 1 hour and was like, I want to pay her double, and then I want to tip her double. So I don't know how that night went, but it was the most easiest night I've ever had.
What's your best month?
I don't think I've ever calculated. But what I say, when I come here and I come for 3 weeks, I'm coming to make at least $20,000 in 3 weeks. But I mean, I hate to say this, but I've had guys spend great money on me, but then keeping that connection, I've definitely have had somebody give me $20,000 to start up my business.
Yeah, that's good.
And I met him in the club.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. If you're watching this.
Money well spent.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
Now give us a crazy one.
Okay, I did want to tell this story actually. So I don't do slight with disrespect. I can handle rejection, but not disrespect. So I was dancing in a full nude club in St. Louis, and I was bent over shaking, and I'm full nude, and this guy, he takes $1 and he licks it and smacks me right on my coochie. So where the dollar sticks. You know what I'm saying? I peel the dollar off. I'm like,
oh.
I turn around and donkey kick him with my high heel right in his chest. And he's like, oh, you think that hurt me? So I took his beer and his buddy's beer, and I'm like this. I'm on the main stage. The whole thing sees this, And then surprisingly, I was upset when I got off stage. I was disgusted. I had to go wash up. I couldn't believe that happened. But then when I came off, everyone was like, oh my God, we saw what happened. And they were just giving me money because they felt so bad when it happened. They were like, that was so badass. So, I just had to I don't play with that disrespect because ew, $1? No, thank you. And then the money definitely came because of that. And I think when you keep those boundaries, it's going to show you there's a reason why you have those boundaries.
Yeah, for sure.
And then in that club, I mean, as much as I didn't like that full nude club, I was making $3,000-$5,000 a night, just because the rooms were way more expensive and the girls there weren't all that.
Not it.
Yeah, it was in Washington Heights in St. Louis, if you know anything about that area.
Are the rooms shut? Is it totally closed?
It is totally closed.
Anything goes.
Yes, and I think I'm going to be fully honest. I never did anything dirty in that club. I mean, if you want that, I know the right girl for that. But I think maybe that's why the girls there weren't making as much money, because they were so used to doing that all the time. They didn't know how to, finesse a guy for money and not have to do that.
No, it was a transaction for that.
Yeah, that's all they knew is how to, transaction. They didn't know how to, sell fantasy, Yeah. And I definitely helped some girls, too, because, I would see them having a hard time, and I'm like, oh, come with me. I'll show you the way, And then there were some girls that's what they do, and that's okay. That's their sex work is fine in all avenues, but I'd be like, oh, I have the perfect guy for you. He wants to in the back, you know? And in that area, that was very common, you know, like I feel like even it was illegal, but everyone knew what was going on.
People do illegal shit.
Yeah, of course.
All the time.
All right, guys. Scarlett, that was awesome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you. It was
Your,
fun.
your insight, yeah, that was definitely fun. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please follow us on Instagram, Spotify, and TikTok. Have a good day.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
Tabitha, you ready? Thank you so much for being